What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to TTB Ravens Media, bringing you Ravens content every single day. If you want to stay up to date Ravens content, make sure to hit the subscribe button down below and hit the notification bell as well if we want to get notified every single time I upload a brand new video. Now, in this video today, it's going to be two things that I will be discussing. First off, I will be talking about Wink Martindale, and then I'm going to be talking about Zachary Orr. So if you just want to hear about the Ravens news with Zachary Orr, skip to about halfway through the video. I will be talking about that then. Now, before I get into this video, I just want to, once again, quickly shout out if you guys want to check out the TikTok or the Twitter. I try and be active on both of those. I'm definitely more active on the TikTok, but I try and be active on Twitter. Let me know if you have any questions, any videos you want me to do and things like that. I definitely listen to that. And also I read the comments, all the comments that I get. So I have seen that people have suggested things. I will be getting to all of those in the off season, but let's talk about it. Wink Martindale is the new defensive coordinator for the New York Giants. Now, obviously, Wink Martindale was with the Baltimore Ravens for a while, ended up parting ways with the Ravens. And I think it's kind of funny because there were rumors about him potentially going to be the Giants head coach about a month ago when the Ravens director of player personnel was getting interviewed to be the GM there. And a lot of people were thinking, hey, could he bring Wink Martindale over? And Wink Martindale doesn't end up getting the head coaching job, but does get the defensive job. And I think that this is something that we as Ravens fans should really pay attention to, because I think it's something that we need to notice how he performs. Because a lot of times when a coach leaves, it doesn't really affect you anymore other than like the loss of them. But how well they coach doesn't affect how you view your team. But I think it honestly does with Wink, because if you look at it from a Baltimore Ravens fan's perspective, a Baltimore Ravens executive perspective, you look at the players that the Ravens have had and let go and performed way better. Guys like Zadarius Smith, guys like Matthew Judon most recently. The edge rusher position has been a position of struggle with the Baltimore Ravens. And a lot of people have, I don't want to say credited, but they have blamed Wink Martindale. I've blamed him as well for some of it, for not being able to get that edge rusher pressure because the blitz is used too often. And edge rushers have complained. Yannick Ngakoue complained. Matthew Judon ended up leaving. Overall, the Ravens just looked at it and they were like, hey, you know what? We don't really need you. We're going to bring in Mike McDonald. He helped out with these edge rushers. But if Wink Martindale goes to the New York Giants and they have phenomenal edge pressure without needing to blitz, I think that brings up some concerns for the Baltimore Ravens, whether it's in them looking at how they bring in players, whether it's looking at how they develop players, whether it's like it could be the scouting, could be the development, could be a combination of both, but something would have to be looked at. Now, if he goes over there and they struggle heavily with getting four-man pass rush sacks, I don't want to say it's a good thing, but I think it's a good thing for the Ravens. It would be a bad thing for Wink Martindale, and I'm not rooting against Wink Martindale in any means. I hope he has success in New York. I really do. But if he doesn't have a lot of success, with the four-man pass rushes, that shows that, hey, maybe the Ravens do a really good job in terms of scouting and development. They're just not using their players properly. And that's something that they can correct. And that's something they can get better at and fix for their defense going into the future. So I think that Wink Martindale getting hired, yes, he's no longer a Raven, but overall, I think it does still impact the Ravens and how they can evaluate their staff. Now, getting into Ravens staff, good news for the Ravens. The Ravens, they let go of Rob Ryan, if you guys didn't know that. He's no longer with the team, so they needed a new inside linebackers coach or new linebackers coach. And who do they go with? Former Raven, former second-team All-Pro, Zachary Orr. I think this is a phenomenal hire. I think absolutely this is a great hire. Zachary Orr, one, he knows the culture. Right. He absolutely knows the culture. And what's really unfortunate is Zachary Orr could still be playing for the Ravens at a high level. Zachary Orr is is 29 years old. He was born in 1992. Like, this guy could still be a linebacker in the NFL if it wasn't for the unfortunate spinal neck injury that he had. Was unable to get cleared to return to football, but at least he's getting to put his mind, to football still and helping teams out. Now, he was last year a outside linebackers coach for the Jacksonville Jaguars. And the Jaguars, yeah, they do have a bad defense, but they do have some pretty prominent linebackers. Now, I don't know exactly how they organize them as outside linebackers because a lot of teams do it differently. Do they consider Miles Jack one? Do they consider Josh Allen one, an edge rusher, an outside linebacker? Do they consider Caleb Chase on? There's a lot of guys, but I believe at least one of them plays outside linebacker because they just have a ton of guys that they use on the line and outside and things like that. So, I don't think that it's something to look at and be like, oh, he's the greatest linebackers coach of all time. But he is somebody that understands what this defense is trying to do. He understands, what it takes to be a Raven. And if you guys don't know much about Zachary Orr, if you're new Ravens fans, you just don't really remember him very much. Zachary Orr played 3 seasons in the NFL. First 2 years, he was a guy that was mostly just a special teams player, right? And then he gets to 2016, and wow, he took off. Absolutely took off. He had, just an unbelievable season for the Ravens, and he, got that second team All-Pro. He was 8th in the NFL in tackles with 133, and those are the types of things that the Ravens need, right? Tackling. That's what we've wanted. Tackling. And if he can help this team tackle, that's all I need from him. And he can do a lot more than that. He can do a lot in terms of the culture, the locker room, and things like that. So, I think it's a great hire for the Ravens. I don't know of any other places that they could have gone. I think it's kind of funny that their former linebackers coach in Mike McDonald is now becoming the defensive coordinator. So they're like, oh, well, Mike McDonald's already knows what he's doing with the linebackers. So it's not like something where he, Zachary Orr is just like, all right, do your own thing. I don't know much about this. No, Mike McDonald is coming from a linebackers coach perspective to then kind of, I don't want to say oversee like he needs to oversee it, but he can add extra insight. So it's not like, I don't want to say he's left on an island to coach, but he has that support in that other great mind in just a really young linebacker coaching room for some really young linebackers. Mike McDonald's 34. Zachary Orr's 29. I think that's really cool. I really do. I think that the linebacker position is changing. We've seen it. We don't see guys that are 6'4", 260 anymore playing linebacker. Now there may be someone that's 6'4", 260 playing linebacker in the NFL right now. I don't really know. But the average linebacker is much smaller than they used to be. They're much faster than they used to be. They do different things. So the guys that are used to coaching those guys, Rob Ryan, may not be used to this new system. They may not be open to new ideas, right? A lot of the older coaches, they try and stick to what they know. But we're getting new guys, we're getting young guys that can bring some creativity and bring that energy in trying to shift how, the position is played and things like that. But let me know what you guys think about the move. I think it's a great move. And I think Wink Martindale, congratulations to him as well. I didn't feel like I had enough to talk about in either one as an individual video. So if you guys like these kind of hybrid videos where I just title them both things that happen, let me know and I can absolutely do them more often, because there's a lot of times where there's content that's like, there's not a ton for me to talk about, but I do still want to talk about it. So if you guys like these hybrid videos, let me know. Absolutely. I can do a lot more of them. But thank you everybody for watching. Subscribe for Daily Ravens content. And I'll see all of you again tomorrow with another live stream.